Here we are.
quite the introduction. Here we are.
Here we are.
Here we are.
Hi. Hey now.
Jose
Hey now.
says, "Why is it starting at 5 and not 4? What is that? What?
This is what time we always start. We always start at this time. This is.
It was like what? Like daylight savings? Maybe Jose lives in Arizona, which does not have a daylight savings. They're smart.
Hey, Tish, I was talking about you. Missing you. Glad that you're back in the chat. Really was wondering where you had been. Hi, Garg.
She has been just listening to the Gadget Cast headphones and just didn't open her eyes for like a month, and she's like, feels good.
Zach doing a drive-by. Appreciate that.
Thank you, Zach. Appreciate that.
Oh my gosh, I'm so tired. Let's find out what else Garg knows and keep a secret from you. Thanks, Rebecca. I mean, she watched my video. I like that. Thank you. It's nice to hear. Yeah. I'm going to be trying to lean into the people that support me a little bit this week. I think I need some of that positive energy. That'd be nice.
Nah, I think we go full negative. I think the election was fraud.
Oh, dude, this is why I don't go on Facebook very much anymore.
I think I won it by a lot. And
well, here's the thing. First of all, President Garg lost.
Yeah, but I think if you count the real votes, I think I win.
Probably.
So,
by the way, Greg, pull them up. So there should be emails, and there definitely are voicemails. I saw that like 2 voicemails came in, so make sure that we do that.
Just we're going to have a bit of a pre-show because I got to go do that. I did forget. Sorry, I dropped the ball. I did drop the ball.
Wait, what?
What?
What happened?
I said I dropped the ball. I said, let me load those up.
You're going to load them up now. Oh, sorry. I misheard you.
Forgot. I remember at the beginning. I have been watching CNN.
Fake news.
Yeah, I've been watching fake news all week, unless it says something favorable to you, and then apparently it's not fake news. Yeah, then they're like, why don't you look at CNN? They say Arizona is in play.
Oh my gosh.
Apparently Fox was fake.
Why don't you load up the files and stop being so political right now? Why don't you load up?
I'm not being political. I'm saying I won. What's wrong with that? People know I ran for president if they're fans of the show, and I think they agree with me that I won. So,
I think we do.
Anyone disagree with that? I feel like I'm president.
Yeah.
I beat Kanye. He conceded.
That's true.
I did what I set out to do, guys. I beat Kanye.
That is true. That is true. I was going to touch my face. That's a good one, 504. Yeah, because we asked people on the last Gadget Cast to send in emails and voicemail stuff, and people did, which is exciting. It'll be fun.
Yeah, we pleaded. We're like, you know what? The show is getting canceled. If
we need people to leave us voicemails. And then I guess I have some news I'll be sharing too, I guess. I just realized that I have news I can share.
You have news?
Well, I tweeted about it, so it's not exactly. Also, I noticed that I was in the middle of watching the Engadget iPhone Mini 12 hands-on. I didn't get a chance to really look at that. Did not. Get to see that.
We do have quite a few. Let's go ahead.
Quite a few, really? That's exciting.
I'm airdropping them to my Mac. Look at this guy.
Airdrop, baby. Airdrop. So someone Prosser texted me a little while ago, and he used Apple. He sent me Apple Cash. I've never done that before. I don't even know what that. I didn't know if that was a thing. Someone left a comment for him, and I think it was on his last video. And at the end, they said, and buy Travis coffee for having your back in my video. So he Apple Cashed me $10. I'm like, what is this? And then he sent me the comment. I'm like, oh, that's funny.
Well, I didn't get anything.
Yeah, you didn't back him up, man. You got to back him up.
I didn't back him up? What do you mean?
No, apparently not. I mean, apparently my video was a backup of him.
I always back up Prosser. I'm a warrior.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, McFadden MCP 2024.
Mm-hmm.
Although we might have won this time. So.
We already won. We don't need to do it again. Why would we want to go through that again? I probably should move my camera. So for people watching, I have a new setup. That's why I'm a little over to the left. So I need to set this up. I don't know. This is kind of I'm trying to figure this out. And because of it, my mic is off to the side a little bit, and so it sounds slightly different. I don't think it'll sound bad or anything, but I have I'm adjusting to it. I'm adjusting to it. Yes, Garg. What other secrets are you hiding from Travis? What other secrets?
A lot.
I bet you are.
A lot, guys. I'm hiding a lot. I'm hiding a lot from Travis. I'm hiding a lot from you guys, honestly. You know, you don't want to know my demons.
I figured. We shall undo them.
I'm looking forward to Monday. I'm very curious. I hope there's some Sal and Richard calls. That's all I'm saying.
Yes, indeed.
I'm gonna say, Travis. I think there will be. If I had the idea, I think there will be.
I think there should be. Rebecca, we actually have had Renee on twice. We've had John Prosser on 2 or 3 times, and we've had Luke Miani. We've had John Rettinger on. We've had Michael Fisher on. We've had a lot of people on.
Okay, three voicemails. I got those loaded into the system.
3 voicemails. Nice.
And let me get those emails.
Nice.
Now, let me check this email, which had a problem before. So I may have to go to the other one.
I can see if John's available. I'll text him real quick.
Yeah, 504 is a good point. We have had Willie Do on quite a bit.
Willie Do has been on. Willie Do is on all the time. Listen, we would love to have iJustine on. Nothing wrong with that. We love to. You've been on too. Tish has been on. We've had Tish on. Future Guard. All right. So
okay. Well,
that's just a Prosser.
I'm just gonna call this person out.
So hold on, Rebecca. So where'd you hear about the show? Are you someone who listened to my show first, or or my channel? Did you go to since you're new here, which is we welcome new people. We love new people. We would love to hear your origin story. How did you find us and all that stuff? Shannon, actually Snubs is good. Snubs is awesome. I love Snubs. She's great. Be happy to have her on. She's really into security, so she'd actually be great to talk to when next time we have something about security or whatever. You know what I mean? Like every so often something comes up about security. It's really good. My man Jeff Mel Hefe reviews. Let's see. Let me turn on my third light. Oh, that's the second one. What's this one? That's that one. Does that make it too bright? I need a little bit of. If I turn it on, then it's like no surprise. This makes me feel a little bit more interesting. That's what I'll call it. Anyway, before cast probably over. We should probably you got everything loaded up.
Right? I'm just trying to make sure I have everything. So sorry for the long before cast. We're gonna get started. Just give me like 2 more minutes because I got.
All right, no problem.
I got to make sure we got all the emails and all the voicemails. 619 put me for a loop. He sent an email and had audio in it, so I had to download that.
Gee, Jose, I don't know why it's so similar to the Greg's Gadgets logo. I have no idea. There's no conspiracy at all. No conspiracy at all. Not even that the name is similar. There's no conspiracy beyond this.
Travis told me to handle everything. So
I did. That was my mistake.
Care of business. Travis loves the logo, so
I actually do.
You can complain.
I actually do, and I love the color. So it's too late. It's too late. It's a done deal. Yeah, I actually do love the logo.
Okay.
Greg is doing work. Was there collusion? Maybe.
There was collusion. Sorry.
There was definitely collusion there. It was rigged. That is for sure. We'll be getting started here shortly, ladies and gentlemen. Just waiting for other people. Tell people on your Facebooks and your Twitter tweets and your Instagrams and your Snapchats and your Tinders and everything to come on over and watch the show. We're gonna have a lot of fun. Well, I mean, we're trying to have our own feel, Jose. I appreciate that.
Okay, some of these, I got an email that had a backhanded compliment. So
good. Well, we will be able to hear the audio voicemails, though, right? How are you going to do that? Are you playing it through the board?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So we ready?
I'm a professional. We are.
Okay.
Golden, man. Let's do it.
All right. Here we go. Starting Gadget Cast in 3, 2, 1. Record.
Discovery's 4 computers now have primary control of critical vehicle functions.
3, 2, 1, 0, 0, and liftoff.
Hello, world, and welcome to the most space traveliest podcast out there, the Gadget Cast. My name is Gregory McFadden, joined always by my co-host Travis M.C.P.
Nice to be in orbit.
Space travel.
And we back, baby. We back. We asked, you delivered. We asked for you to write us and send us voicemails, and some of you did. So I'm excited to hear from the people that listen to us. Because I'm tired of listening to each other. I already know what we sound like.
Yeah, it's, you do a show for a year with someone and you're just regretting it. You got to hear this person's voice every Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern time if you're joining us on the live stream. But no, we asked, we pleaded, we said we weren't feeling the love, and we wanted some voicemails, and you guys delivered. I got to be honest with you. We got 4 voicemails, Travis. We got a couple of emails here. And I guess I will have to put them off.
Yeah, that's listen, I'm excited about hearing from the fans that are we have people here in the live stream. I don't want to make a big deal about
before I play these voicemails about what the show is about, I guess.
What is the show about? My guess is because this is the week, apparently. Well, first of all, Xbox One X is this week. Xbox Series X.
Yeah, Xbox One X, PlayStation 5, iPhone 12 Pro Max, iPhone 12 Mini, HomePod Mini. Who cares about that? I guess now.
Yeah.
Apple event, probably Apple Silicon Max. I don't know. This is too much. I don't want any part of it anymore. I quit.
Yeah. So and then of course now Apple Silicon on the same day as Xbox Series X comes out.
Sorry, Xbox.
Yeah, sorry, Xbox. I mean, well, I'm still going to try to get an Xbox, but I know you've had a couple of videos about it. A lot of people are going to be talking about it. We'll be talking about that today, what that actually means as far as like you and I and people that are listening to the show. Is it important? Is it interesting? Should you care? We'll talk about all of that and more, but we want to give you an opportunity to have your voice heard. So let's go ahead and listen to some of these voicemails and audio and video and whatever people sent in. What did people send in?
I don't know. Honestly, I didn't vet these, so let's hope it's all above board. All right, let's go.
All right, here we go.
Hey guys, absolutely love the podcast. I've been waiting for a podcast like this forever. Question. I'm in the market for the new iPhone, but I've heard Greg talk about the battery life experience, which isn't that great, it seems. I've also seen some tech reviewers on YouTube and online reviews saying that, yeah, the battery life ain't great. Would you, instead of getting the regular 12, go for the 11 Pro just for the battery? Or would you instead go for the 12? Here in Sweden, the 11 Pro is a bit more expensive, but I'm kind of debating whether or not it's worth it. Thanks again for the podcast.
Ooh, very interesting question.
Yeah, really well thought out too. This is this is not a like, what's your favorite color, Greg? This is an actual one you have to think about because, and I've actually had people ask me this. Should you get to one of the 12s or one of the 11s?
Because he said in Sweden, he said the 11 Pro is more expensive. So that is the hardest question I think I've ever had to answer.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Because if you really do care about battery life, the new phones, they're okay. I wouldn't say they're bad. They get me through a whole day, and I consider myself a power user, but they don't. Last year, the iPhone battery life was so good, like on almost every model, especially the Max model. But even on the regular Pro, even though I didn't use it, I heard from other people that the battery was really good. So I end my day on the 12 and the 12 Pro. They have about the same battery life. I get about 10% remaining. Now, what you might want to do, and where a lot of this battery hit is actually coming from, this might be an unorthodox suggestion for you, considering you might want to go with the 11 Pro. One of the reasons why the battery is really getting hit so hard is because of 5G. Now, because you said the 11 Pro is more expensive, I was thinking, usually the older phone, you find that and it's cheaper. So obviously I'd be like, oh, we'll just go with the cheaper one if you care about battery life. But I think my recommendation to you is if you really want this size phone, well, I probably have two recommendations. If you can go with a bigger sized phone and that doesn't bother you, maybe go for the Pro Max. Because I think even though the reviews aren't out yet, I'm guessing that's going to probably have the standard of battery life that a lot of us want. But if you're deciding between an 11 Pro and a 12, and the 11 Pro is more expensive, I would recommend getting the 12, going into the settings and just sticking to 4G. Just turn off 5G completely. It really isn't that useful. And I think you'll probably see similar battery life on it based on a lot of the things I've seen floating around and with my own testing.
All right. So a couple things. Number one, we just got another voicemail. Number two,
Download that.
I know, right? Number two, this really brings up an interesting point. One of the things that makes the iPhone 12 kind of better than the iPhone 11 series is 5G. And one of the reasons that we heard that the 120 hertz screen did not come out was, among other reasons, battery life. Now, here's an interesting thing. Knowing that now, first of all, if you had put 120 hertz on top of that, you probably would have nothing for a battery life on a phone with 5G and 120 hertz, at least on the iPhone. It really makes you wonder, did they choose the wrong thing this year? Should they have waited another year for 5G? Now, most people might say, no, they shouldn't, because there's a lot of 5G Android phones out there. But you also have to remember that by and large, Apple's competitors aren't necessarily Android manufacturers, because a lot of people that are on Apple devices are just on Apple devices. They don't really care. If they were that worried about it, you would see a lot more people switching over from iOS to Android, which, I mean, some people obviously will. But the reality is they didn't need to rush this out. I don't know if rush is the right word. They didn't need to push it out this year. And if it's such a battery hog, then maybe 120 hertz might have been the better deal. What do you think, Greg?
Yeah, I do agree with that. I think either way, though, they probably would have had similar hits on the battery because, like I said in the last show, I really wish Apple would just, for how small these batteries are, you have to give credit to Apple's optimization for how much battery life they can eke out. But when you're looking at Android phones, they're coming with much bigger batteries by like 1,000 milliamps in this size class. I would have just loved to see Apple throw in a big battery in there and turn on the 5G, put on the 120 hertz, do what you have to do. But I think the big issue is Apple really wanted that variable refresh rate when they brought over this 120 hertz. And I think that's where they're going to see that battery savings. But yeah, the 5G thing too. And you have to understand these are companies, right? They want to make money. And as cool as 120 hertz is, and I think a lot of the tech literate people get that, you have to understand that the average consumer, we talked about this on the last show, they remember the 3G upgrade, the 4G upgrade, and they remember how much faster that made their phones. And that really drove a super cycle in phone upgrades. And I think Apple was doing this balancing act. They know 5G isn't all that great, but it is a feature that they can sell to people. Is that right? Because it really isn't ready. But I think if people are in the market today, there might be some hesitation to buy a phone that isn't 5G. Even if they don't need it today, they might, people are keeping their phones longer and longer. They might just want that technology. So I think Apple chose what they could market better. And I think that's why they chose 5G over 120 hertz. If you're asking, the tech literate person based on all of our testing with 5G, I think most of us would have said they should have gone with 120 hertz, but they have to consider their sales.
Yeah. And I know Tech Rant, he also has a YouTube channel, has been doing some kind of real life battery usage on the iPhone 12. While he is a tech user, he also a tech YouTuber. He also has been just taking it out and then doing he even recorded one of his videos on his channel, I think, has him just using it in the course of a day. And he, his pretty much his end result was just turn off 5G because it eats up so much of his battery. Jeff in our chat also says the same thing. And, even in my tests, when I was testing 5G versus 4G LTE, there's just not that much of a difference. And to be honest, the things that 5G are really great for aren't things like uploading your Snapchats any faster. It's not that at all. So we'll have to see what ends up happening with this in the future. And like I've said before, the first generation of any kind of technology like this is always a battery drainer. When 4G WiMAX came out, you never wanted to turn on WiMAX because it was going to eat your battery to death. So this is nothing new for phones. It's just that it's interesting that the Android side of it doesn't seem to be having as much of a problem this year as Apple. However, to your point, Apple doesn't put in super large batteries either.
Yeah, and you know, the 5G auto, like the switching that they do, it works out pretty good. Again, I'm ending my day. It gets me through a full day. I notice it's a little bit worse than the 11, but if it's still getting me through a day, it's not like, oh my God, this is the worst thing in the world. If you spend every single waking moment on your phone, it's going to be a bad experience. There are people like that. They're on their phone 24/7. You can't get them to turn their screen off. I really think people should go with the Max model for that. But yeah, I think it's good. But if you want to get the same battery life that you would out of an 11 and also get all the new features, just go ahead and toggle 5G off. Here's how you know that 5G is a battery hog. Apple usually doesn't let you change the settings. They usually don't let you go in there and go, hey, let me fiddle with this. They knew that they had to not only put a 5G auto setting, which is what it ships with. That means it'll only switch to 5G when it has to. They also put in a setting where you could just turn it off completely. And that is very on Apple-like. So you know it's a battery hog.
Yeah, for sure. We also got another voicemail. So it looks like people are kicking in voicemails and stuff, which is great.
I hope we answered your question. And
yes,
thank you for the incredibly kind word. Never a show like this. I think we missed that part. Never a show like this in the history of humanity. Sorry, Joe Rogan. Best.
We should go back and forth between voicemails and emails now that we have a little bit of both.
Okay.
What's the first email we have?
Well, you threw me for a loop there. But,
if you're going to be on the podcast like ours,
Eek 4x4. Hi, I love your podcast because you are not so big that you really don't care about the individual, and it's always nice to listen to you in the afternoon, and it helps me keep up in the tech world. Oh, regards, Ethan. So this is from Ethan. Okay, the email. Okay, Ethan. Did you get that?
Was that the email?
Yes. Hi, I love your podcast because you are not so big that you don't really care about the individual. And it's always nice to listen to you in the afternoon and helps me keep up with the tech world. I think he's saying he likes us because we're not so big so we can connect to the individual.
Well, okay. First of all, I disagree.
I want to let Ethan know we are the biggest deal.
We are so big.
World,
so. We really don't care about any of you if the real truth has come out here. No, I'm kidding. I'm joking. Even if we were like the largest podcast, to me, one of the things that makes GadgetCast so fun, and Greg and I talk about this all the time, are the people that show up and show out. Really, this thing would be nothing. And by the way, pat myself on the back because this has become so much more fun since we've live streamed the actual recordings than Greg and I used to just talk back and forth, which was fine. But I think it gets a new kind of level of interesting interactions here. And we thank you for listening because to be perfectly honest, I always say this about anything on YouTube or anything when we're creating content for you. The reality is this: you're exchanging time, which you will never get back, to listen to us. And it's hard to not appreciate that. So we definitely thank you for that email, and just even taking the time to email that was really, really amazing. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yes. Now let's go to our second voicemail.
What do I have to do to basically get a call from Greg and Travis? I will do anything. I will do anything. Please call me. Please, I'm up for a call. Please surprise me with a call. Please, I'll do anything. I support anything that has to do with the Gadget Cast. Please, Travis. Please, Greg. Come on. Let me participate. Call me. Please. I'll be one of the happiest. I think I'm like Greg, and I think I'm Gadget Cast #1 fan. I said it. Yeah, I said it. J Maga TV.
That's Jay Maga. He's always been super. What he's actually talking about is something that happened on the last episode, which we are going to do. I don't know exactly when we're going to do it, but we are going to do it. Where we're going to call people. I think in the holiday season or something, aren't we? Is that where we're doing it?
I floated the idea out there that we might call some people in the holiday season. Times are tough. People are kind of separated. So why not bring them some cheer if they wanted it? I wanted to see if people were interested in the idea. Jay Mugga, apparently we'd make his whole life. He could go, that could be his last day on earth. And I think he's a happy man. Jay Mugga, if you want that call, I got a bank account, maybe some zeros, maybe a couple of zeros, and we can make that call happen.
No, we'll do it for sure. We'll do it for sure.
We'll do it for sure, and we'll get Jay Mugga for sure.
Yeah, of course. That's gonna be fun.
We appreciate it. Thank you for the voicemail. We're gonna try and make that happen in the holiday season. So stay tuned. We'll have some more information at a later date.
All right. What's the next email?
Next email. Okay. This one is from Steven. Hey, Greg and Travis. I really enjoy the show and also your YouTube channels for tech reviews. Thank you for making it fun and informative. Have a fantastic week. Thank you, Steven. I appreciate that.
I like that. I like emails and voicemails. These are fun.
There's a couple of emojis in there, little praying hands, little hands in the air too,
Very nice, very nice.
Also left his phone number if we wanted to call him.
All right, we'll keep him on the list. We'll call him in the future.
Yeah. I think I saw him in the chat earlier. He says, "Please don't say my phone number out loud." No, we're not.
Oh, there's Sonny Dixon. We haven't seen Sonny in a long time. Hey, Sonny, good to see you, man.
Yeah, Sonny, if you got any Apple Silicon Mac information you want to drop in my DMs, I'm not going to stop you. All right. Ready for the third one?
Let's go.
Hey, Greg and Travis. What got you guys interested in technology? Is there a specific thing about technology that you just really enjoy? Thank you and keep up the great work.
That's right. Why are we everyone's so positive? I like this. It's giving me an ego. What's happening here?
Why are you interested in technology, Travis?
I always have been.
Let's hear it.
As far as like why I took it to the point of doing a YouTube channel, I don't know if that's the question or not, but technology itself has always been interesting to me just because of the things it allows you to do. I mean, think about it like this. Once upon a time, when I was growing up, it was a very expensive thing, if not almost impossible, to have a conversation with someone across the world. And you certainly couldn't do a video call with them. Now it's so common. It's like there are no borders. So technology just always amazes me in different ways. And it's not just mobile technology, it's really any kind of technology. And I've always enjoyed it. I always probably will. So doing a channel for it just made sense.
Yeah. Same. No. Yeah, I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think, was there ever a time I wasn't interested in technology? I feel like I've just always been interested in it, especially growing up as a kid. I guess the first thing that I always wanted the latest of was every like video game system out there. And I just always had to have Game Boy Color, PlayStation, N64. So that's where I got started with technology for sure. And then even like my first computer was like the original iMac. And I thought that was like the coolest thing ever. I remember sitting down with my parents, unboxing that thing, connecting it to the internet for the first time. We connected it to our, phone line. You had to do dial-up. Think about that. And getting on the internet. And then I remember very vividly, we got the iMac, we went on the internet, and we, like those spam things where it's like, you won like $10,000. So if it's your first time on the internet, you go, I won. Yeah.
I did it.
Yeah. So I was very excited. But yeah, video games, all that stuff. And then, the reason why I made the channel was because I saw people talking about technology. Sometimes I disagreed with them. And I'm like, I want to get in there. I want to start talking about technology. I want to give my opinions on this. And YouTube, what a great platform to do it on. I think one of the best platforms ever invented to share your opinion and also be creative with it. Yeah,
absolutely. So I don't know. I think we're going to be around for a minute. We enjoy it. So thank you for that email.
And no plans on quitting anytime soon.
Yeah. So what's next? Is it a voicemail, email? I lost track.
We got from Jose. I think he also left a voicemail too, so he's going to get a double feature.
Double whammy.
He says, hello again, Greg and Travis. Travis for 2020, president. Whoa. And Greg vice president.
Hey now.
2043, Greg for president and Luke for vice. Okay. Jose redeemed himself in the end. He says Luke for vice president in 2043. I think I can get behind that. So we'll run Travis. Well, 2020 is over. Sorry, Travis. I think you lost. But 2043, the Greg and Luke Miani ticket, it's coming your way. Free Apple Silicon Mac for every household.
There you go. You could win that.
I think so.
I think you can win based on that. That's actually a really good. Yeah, that's pretty good.
We're socialized computers, baby.
Okay, what's next?
I think that's the end of the emails. So we have 2 more voicemails, but
All right.
I'll play the voicemail while I check.
Hey, Travis and Greg, how are you guys doing? Just want to say first off, thanks for almost a year now that I've been watching the GadgetCast on YouTube and just been enjoying the live stream, and yeah, it's been a lot of fun. So I had a question about now gaming. Obviously now the PS5 and the new Xbox are coming out in the next couple days or couple of weeks, and I thought maybe you guys could talk about that a bit more, and also what are your thoughts on if there could possibly be better gaming on mobile devices. I know Apple now has Apple Arcade, but could you maybe see in the future like Rockstar would make their own version of GTA specifically for iPhone or iPad? Same with Nintendo. They make Pokemon games specifically designed for iPhone and iPad. And yeah, I just would like to hear your thoughts on that.
Cool. That's a good little segue. We can talk a little bit about video games.
In the chat says it was nearly midnight and he sounded tired, but I thought it was kind of good.
Well, listen, it was a great question. So if you think about it, a couple things. So let me answer the last thing first. Yes, but not necessarily because they will have to be made directly for the phones. I believe cloud gaming bridges that gap. We're getting very close to where, and you could argue we're there now, where cloud gaming is pretty relevant and certainly doable. I've been cloud gaming a couple times on my Android phone, and it's been pretty darn good. There's a little bit of latency, but it's good enough. And obviously you have the graphical power of whatever system that it's on. So yeah, I mean, I don't know that it has to be even done for mobile. I mean, maybe they will, but I think they don't have to. I think cloud gaming would be the way to bridge that gap. Having said that, as I'm sure we'll talk about later, processors like the A14 are so ridiculously powerful anyway that you really could get some incredibly good-looking games on mobile processors.
Yeah. Yeah, I've had a mixed bag with cloud gaming. I'm not like the biggest fan of it. I just feel like the latency is just a little bit too much for me, where it throws me out of the experience. And there's some times where it actually does connect really well, but then that could be for like 5 minutes, and then all of a sudden it's stuttering and it's taking a while to catch up. And mobile connections like that through Wi-Fi, and especially on cellular, it's a hard problem to solve. I think that's one of the promises of 5G, strangely enough, going back to that topic, is that it's going to solve this issue of latency, but we're really still a far away from there. And I don't know how long it'll take. It sounds like it's something that will be inevitable at one point, because how could the technology not get us to that point? And then, yeah, developers would love that, by the way. If they could just develop for a server and then have that push to any platform there and get game sales or through a subscription service, they would love that, because it would make their job a lot easier than making a separate version for iPhone, a separate version for PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo. So I think that is the future. I just feel like I don't think we're as close as we might think we are yet. Because especially for a mobile game, if you're on the bus and you're playing your game, it's got to be stable on cloud gaming. You might be able to do it at home with your fast internet, but 5G right now and all the dropouts and everything, it's just not a thing. That being said, Travis is right. A14 processor, maybe these Apple Silicon Macs that we're going to talk about in a second. I wonder if Apple has a better strategy for gaming. They usually don't, but they have their Apple Arcade service, so maybe they'll surprise us. But these chips are insanely powerful. What they can do with them, listen, these are more powerful than one of the most popular consoles out there right now, the Nintendo Switch. So these phones have the raw horsepower to do, like you're saying, like a specific GTA game made for mobile. And if you look at the mobile industry versus the console industry, there's a lot more money to be made in mobile gaming. Maybe it's not the way that you want it to be done because it's usually through buying cosmetic items or play to win kind of stuff. But the money is there, and I think more and more people want to be on that platform. Again, like you said, Nintendo is on that platform. They're making games for iPhone and stuff like that. So they see the potential there. I think that's only going to get bigger as we go forward. Everyone has a phone in their pocket. That's such a huge market that everyone wants to hit. Maybe the traditional game makers a few years ago couldn't hit those targets, but these phones are super powerful. They can obviously hit them today. I think he asked us about PlayStation 5 too.
Yeah, so he was asking about the two systems. So for me, if I'm able to get a hold of an Xbox Series X, I'll probably grab one of those. The thing is I like gaming and stuff. I just haven't had a lot of time for it. I'm trying to make more time for it, trying to do more on my Twitch if I can. So I would like to grab one. And that's kind of where I want to be. I've always had both consoles. I don't expect that to be the case this time because it got to the point in the last couple of years that I wasn't gaming enough to even hold on to my PS4. So I sold it a couple of years back. So I've only had the Xbox One X for a while now, and even then I don't get a chance to play too much. So if I'm going to get one, which if I can get a hold of one, I'll get one. It would be the Xbox console. I know that Greg has a slightly different take. So the good news is you'll have both of us from both of. Well, I guess you're probably getting both because you buy a lot of things.
Yeah. So I think my preference is leaning towards the PlayStation 5, especially for the exclusive titles and just my throughout playing games for a long time, I've mostly preferred the exclusive that PlayStation has, and that definitely puts me over the edge. But I'm willing to keep an open mind with Xbox. I think some of the things they're doing with Game Pass, maybe that's something that's going to be really good. Xbox is obviously the underdog coming into this. When you're the underdog, you are a lot more friendly to the consumer. You're trying to win people over. It's something that Sony actually made the mistake of with the PlayStation 3. They were very consumer unfriendly, and Xbox kind of came in and the 360 really dominated. Once the 360 dominated, they made the same mistake. They thought they were on top. They could do whatever they wanted to you, and that turned out not to be the case. But I do have the Series X ordered. I have the Series S ordered as well, and I have, I got it.
Greg, listen, here's the thing. I understand when you have to buy 4 different iPhones for your channel. I get it. I totally get it. This doesn't make any sense, Greg. As a matter of fact, I demand you give me your pre-order for the Xbox Series X because I'm going to play it and you're not. Why you would get an S as well is just a big flex, and it's terrible. And I demand you release that to some person who actually wants to be a Microsoft Xbox Series S owner.
So me and my fiance are both gamers, and we need 2 systems to play online together. So I need 2 PlayStation 5s. I need 2 Xboxes. That's how it works.
Excuse me, but aren't there 2 controllers on a system? Can't you go back?
There's not like a split screen gaming thing anymore. It's all online. Like you need 2 host systems. I wish that was the case. I wish I could just buy one. I don't want to buy both of these.
So you're going to be in one room and your fiance is going to be in the other room and you're going to be playing games together. What games are you guys playing together?
We'll be playing in the same room with 2 different screens. So thank you.
Bro. What are you talking about? What kind of shenanigans
are you talking about?
None of this makes sense.
It makes perfect sense.
If she was a streamer and you were a streamer, this makes sense. Your channel is not. I know you do have a gaming channel that you're thinking about pulling.
I was going to get into that too.
Okay.
So I got both of them ordered. We'll see. Maybe we'll see. I got both of them ordered. I'm looking forward to PlayStation 5. I got the controller already for the PlayStation 5. It feels really nice. And speaking of streaming and stuff like that, I'm getting ready to go full steam ahead on gaming content. I've been in like stasis waiting for these new consoles to come out before I do anything because I just want to cover this next generation. So come this week, I don't know how I'm going to survive it, but there's going to be a new channel. I'm going to be doing Twitch stuff. So make sure you're following me on all that stuff in the description. But yeah, no, I'm really getting into it. But like Travis, I do have to say, the reason why I don't really play games a lot is because I'm always like super busy. And I have this really bad mentality where I'm getting into that point where if I'm not like working, I feel like bad. Like it's like, oh, I shouldn't be playing a game. I should be working on my channel. So I really want to do gaming content so I could be like, I'm working, because that's how it is with technology for me now. And it's great. I'm not snobbish. I'm not rich, guys. These are $500 systems. I spent more. Listen, this stupid iPhone 12 Pro costs more than both systems. Okay,
That's
So,
true. That's true.
whatever,
That's a true
whatever.
point.
That fold 2 costs more, and I think I'm going to sell that because
I sold mine.
you sold yours for a low price though. Is that what you get
Yeah.
for those? Like I felt like
I
that
don't
was-
know. Well, I originally wanted to get 1,500 for it, but I sold it for a
Yeah.
lot less than that because I just wanted to sell it. And every time I kept throwing out like, I'm thinking of selling, and they're like, how much? 1,500. Like it was crickets. So I'm like, well, I don't really want to sell to just random people on the internet, right? Because I don't know want to do that. So I put out a number that people could not resist, and they couldn't resist it. So it's gone.
Ace has a, great. He says, "You're gonna customize your PS5 like Dave 2D did." No, I am awful with customization. I'm bad with my hands. These are soft hands. They don't work. That's why I make tech videos. So,
Oy
no
vey.
customization for me.
What do we have any more voicemails or anything? Or are we going into the other stuff?
No, we have one more voicemail.
Nice.
Okay.
Which day is the best day to cancel Travis? Would it be Christmas or some other holiday, Greg?
Oh, this is a very lopsided question. What is the best day to cancel Travis? Do we cancel Travis on Christmas, New Year's, Hanukkah, Thanksgiving, Halloween? I think the cause of canceling Travis is so great. We might have to make it into its own holiday. So I'm gonna have to think about that. I'm gonna have to think about a date, and we're gonna have to make cancel Travis a holiday.
I mean,
what's the worst day of the year? Like, what's the worst?
That's a good question. Most Mondays, really.
Yeah, I feel like it has to be like a Monday but what's like the worst Monday? Research on this.
I don't know yet. I
the
think
Monday after Christmas.
Well, I guess it depends on what day of the week Christmas is because my birthday's right after that. So if Christmas on a Sunday, then Monday my birthday. So it's not gonna happen. All right. Anyway, that was a terrible voicemail. Let's not ever take messages from that person.
We also have one more email, last minute email from Jose. And that's it. We're cutting it off. What do you want in a dream iPhone, Greg? Travis, what are your thoughts on the rumored 2021 iPad Pro? Thank you for the great content that you both provide, not only in GadgetCast, but also in your own channels as well. So,
well, if I'm first, the question was what
rumored 2021
iPad Pro. So, which I assume is just what the A14X, right?
Light too. It's supposed to be mini LED.
Yeah, but I don't really know what that means. I need to see it in person to see what that would look like on a tablet. It's not to say that I haven't seen mini LED before, but what it looks like on a tablet in your hands, like I need to see that. I would prefer to have OLED. Having said that, the A14X would be enough for me to probably upgrade again my iPad Pro, which is kind of silly because I feel like now again I did get the bigger iPad Pro this time, so that's the one part that doesn't make me feel too bad about upgrading. But overall, was not much of an upgrade at all. It was more of a lateral thing as far as I'm concerned. The iPad Pros this year, so next year would be great. The 14X, I can only imagine what that'll be like. The 14 itself is pretty remarkable. 14X should be ridiculous, and for me to be able to render out stuff even faster, then I would be all about that life. I don't care about the 5G portion. I don't need that, but would certainly be interested in that. And I'll probably end up getting it if it comes out in the 12.9 and it does, I might actually wait to see some reviews because this year I had thrown out a hypothesis that the A14 might be as good or better than the 12X for like rendering, and it's pretty darn close. So like I saw finally a couple people, Rene Ritchie put in his video a little bit about that, and it turned out that they are very, very close. So I think with the X or whatever it's going to be, I'm pretty excited about that. I'd be pretty happy with that.
We're gonna talk about those scores in just a second because, well, Ann W just spammed boring in the chat. So I'm sorry, guys. Apparently we're too boring for Ann W. Thanks.
Yeah, that's too bad.
How about you do the show, Ann? You wanna get on here and do the show? Apparently, you're the most entertaining person in the world. I'd like to see it.
Oh yeah, as soon as you started trying to talk smack, your internet went to trash. Fake rumor suggesting 15x will render out before you report the Renee. That's right, Renee. You get it.
I wanna see the Ann W show.
I don't think anyone wants to see that.
I want to see the Ann W show. And then for my dream iPhone, I don't know. It's tough. I think, like I said before, I want Apple to put in bigger batteries into the phone. Like dream features, it's so hard to say like what features you want, because I feel like the phones, it's hard for me to decide that, because like the technologies aren't there at points. But like I want like the biggest battery possible, like multiple days. Give me like real wireless charging. It charges through the airwaves somehow. Apparently that like technology exists. Like I'd love to see that. Yeah, stuff like that. I'd like to see like a folding iPhone one day. I want to see that concept like folds out into an iPad. I think Apple could execute that really well if they really put their engineering behind it. So yeah, I'd love to see like really cool stuff like that, like big picture stuff. Other than that though, the phones, they are really refined at this point. It's kind of hard to kind of think of like what features you want. So that's why I always like, I kind of got to wait to see what they show me. But yeah.
I do real quick before we get into the next section where we talk about my little announcement, of course, Apple Silicon. Want to make a little comment about this Apple thing. So last night I went and picked up, as an excuse, the iPhone 12 Pro Max Silicon case from the Apple Store, because I realized I could go get that. The reason that I did that as a store pickup is because I actually wanted to go into the store and check out some of the devices that I haven't seen yet, including the iPad Air, which I haven't seen in person yet, and a couple other things. I wanted to try that band out. I really wanted to try the band out on the new Apple Watches. Well, it turns out, at least at my store, when you go to schedule your pickup, that does not include being able to go into the store. They just bring it out to you, which was really upsetting. And I came to find out later that there's a separate sign up thing altogether if you want to just go in and look around. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. So someone who literally is not necessarily buying anything gets to rummage around for however long they want to, yet me, who am paying way too much money for a silicon case, let's be honest, way too much for that thing, silicone, whatever the hell, and I don't get to do nothing but stand there looking like a dummy as they hand me the ridiculously expensive case. Okay, not happy about that, Apple. I should get a custom air. But plus, let me say something else. You should have realized it was me and let me in. I think that's enough. I mean, if you see me, you go, listen, that's Travis. Let him in. Let him do whatever he wants to do. He can put his hands on everything. I mean, that's it, right? I think that's how it should work.
Full agreement. I think, yeah. You know, you should have been like, do you know who I am?
I almost did.
You know who I am? I
should have.
They would have been like, oh, yes, sir. We'll let you in. I got this wallet that's really overplayed. Oh. I'm not going to lie, but it's cool.
So I talked to a guy who ended up returning it because he said every time he pulled the phone out of his pocket, it slid off.
Not for me, honestly. Like I saw that too, and I saw like videos like, oh, it slides out. It stays on for me. I don't know. I got bigger pockets though, so maybe if you have like tight pockets, it'll slide out. Works for me. I think it's cool. It is overpriced though. Not gonna lie. It's cool. You're muted.
Yay. Okay, so look, we have your finger sandwich.
Tell them about your news. Tell them about your news. We're running.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, we need to do it. Yeah. So, speaking of that sort of stuff, the person actually I was talking to, who told me about that very story, was the producer of a show that I have been. Oh, they opened up a new account. Good job, James. Like, by the way, I love people who like come in and try to like we're YouTubers, man. We see this stuff all the time. It's not gonna rock.
Feed off it, to be honest. You're just making me love it. Like
he loves that stuff. I'm kind of like, whatever. Anyway, so it turns out. Here's the thing. This is why I always tell. That's why I told Greg the other day. You never know who's watching. So, and I haven't actually told this story anywhere else. I just tweeted something very vague about it, but this is an exclusive for GadgetCast. So there is a show nationwide called The List, and what it is kind of a like a lifestyle type show, and they have like every so often they do like a tech corner type thing, right? It's all over the world. It's all over the country, United States. For those of you listening overseas, You can see the website, but you can't see the channels. But it's syndicated across like 50 different channels all across the country, and they have a tech portion of the show that I've been invited to be kind of a semi-regular contributor to. So I'll be filming the first thing of that tomorrow, Monday. That'll go. What he was telling me it will be live at the end of the month, and then we're just going to do more. We talked about other subjects. 5G was one of them. The subject I'll be doing tomorrow is about tablets, different tablets and stuff that are good to purchase because I'm a big tablet guy, and I'm kind of excited for it. So it's not that I haven't been on TV before. I have a couple times, but I have. It's the truth. But this is kind of cool because I feel like it's a more repeating thing, and it's kind of this me for tech. The guy was telling me he had actually been watching my channel for months, which is kind of cool. You just never know who's watching, so I'm kind of excited about that. It's an opportunity. So once that comes out, we'll put a link in like the show notes and the description, everything like where you can go. I'll actually put a link in the YouTube chat as to where you can find your local listings of that show. But other than that, thanks everybody for the support. Greatly appreciate all the nice messages I got on Twitter and stuff. So appreciate all of that. Greg, on the other hand, will be seen on YouTube from this point forward. And Twitter on occasion. And GadgetCast for a little bit longer anyway.
Well, congratulations for the show. That's really cool. I'm proud of you, man.
Oh, don't worry. We're going to be plugging GadgetCast on. I'm going to be I'll be doing them slick GadgetCast shout outs.
Nice. Well, I'm going to get my TV debut one day, It's good.
Hopefully it won't be cops.
Well, I'll do whatever is necessary.
Chris Hansen telling you to sit down or something. You don't want all that.
Okay. Well, that's not going to
All right, let's get into the Apple Silicon, man. You know much more about this than I do, so please give people some information so I can rail on it.
Listen, you're talking about this A14X, and it's very confusing. I really want to see what Apple's going to do on Tuesday, what their strategy is. Are they going to call this an A14X inside of a Mac? Before I get on that, these upgrades don't sound too exciting from a hardware upgrade, like, oh my God, new design, like iPad Pro. These are apparently going to look exactly the same. I'm getting made fun of in this chat, man. This cannot happen. These are going to look exactly the same as your MacBook Air, your 13-inch MacBook Pro, maybe a 16-inch MacBook Pro, but don't expect any outwardly design changes is what I'm hearing. Guys, I'm trying to do a show here.
This is why you have to be at the YouTube channel. You have to be watching the YouTube live stream. I'm sorry, audio podcast listeners. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So don't expect, look at this cool new futuristic thing. The real changes for these is just going to be internal, which is going to be this Apple Silicon, these chips that, Apple's been kind of using in their iPhones and their iPads. And, Travis uses an iPad full time for his video editing. He can tell you just how fast and how efficient these chips are inside of what Apple's able to do with Apple Silicon, especially on like an iPad Pro when they have their X variants. Now, this A14X, there's some benchmark leaks. Who knows if they're true? We're going to find out very soon on Tuesday what we're getting here. But these things look really fast. Now, these are just benchmarks. You should never judge performance based on benchmarks. I say that all the time. But they do give us a good indication of just some baseline performance we can compare it to. And from what I'm seeing with these benchmarks, Travis, this A14X or whatever they're putting in Apple Silicon, this thing is faster than a 16-inch MacBook Pro, faster than the top-of-the-line MacBook they have out now. And we know that Apple is, I'm guessing, probably going to stick very similar chips into these like 13-inch laptops. So
I just love that the chat is going wild on this.
I gotta pay attention to the chat.
Audio podcast listeners, please don't hate us. Finish up, Greg. I'm sorry. I won't highlight any more comments.
My manhood's been called into question. I think my voice is rich and pretty good sounding. I don't even know what to say anymore. But yeah, the Apple Silicon Max is going to be our first Max with Apple Silicon, their own custom chips, better battery life, I'm guessing, better thermals, which is much needed, and frankly, faster performance. I'm curious to see if they could release an Apple Silicon Mac that will get Travis's attention. I would love to see Travis buy one of these if it's the right price, because this is like a whole new era for them. However it shapes up, them using their own chips in it, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
When you go to buy a PC nowadays, Intel used to run the show. You go get a laptop. If you don't have Intel inside of it, you're getting nothing. But AMD has done really well, especially on desktop processors. They're even fighting back in laptop processors now. And now here comes Apple. They're going to have their own unique advantage in this PC market. And I think that's such a big deal. So I want to see if there's anything on the Tuesday announcement. You're not really a Mac guy. You flirted with the idea of maybe buying like a Mac before. If they can get the cost down because they're using their own chips now, and if it's the same design, I feel like they can get that cost down, especially maybe on like the Air. If they release like an $800 MacBook Air Apple Silicon that's faster than your iPad Pro, would that be enough to get your interest?
I would definitely be looking at it. Here's the thing. It is a really interesting time in which we're in, that if this goes off the way we think it will, this is a turning point for Apple, much the same way it was for Apple when the iPhone came out. And then the iPad, which seemed almost too good to be true, but then not so good when it very first came out because it wasn't that much different than an iPhone, and then it became its own thing. Here's the thing. First of all, that would be incredible because the one thing of Apple that I don't really have that's part of their normal line is an actual Mac of any sort. No laptop, no desktop, nothing. So if they're able to get something down at a good price with good performance, that'd be interesting to me. Stepping back from that and looking at what it means for them as a company, this could be a big deal. Now, it could be super big if they did something that they won't do, which is directly try to compete with AMD and Intel by making their processors available to all computers. That would be amazing. That's not what's going to happen. I think what will happen instead is that they'll just be able to wean off other processors for their own computers, which will make them, of course, more powerful because now they have everything from the hardware to the software. They're making it all one thing. That's amazing, incredible, awesome. Having said that, it's a bit of a risk. They have been making these processors for a while, but they haven't been making them for desktop applications. They've only been making them for mobile. So while this should work theoretically on paper, and I'm sure they've done a tremendous amount of testing, because to step away from AMD or Intel is a big deal. And they have done this before with their PowerPC processor or whatever it was a long time ago. I get it. This is a huge deal for them. It weans them off of other companies, and the less that they have to worry about the pricing of another company or negotiating for another company, or maybe the performance isn't as good or the thermals aren't as good, the better it is for their product line. This is a huge deal. And for me, if they can bring the price down, which I don't know that Apple will necessarily do that, but if they would, then for me, I'm already mostly in the Apple ecosystem. It would be interesting to me. And I think for people who have always kind of wanted to take that leap, but just didn't have the money for it, it really can make a huge difference.
Yeah.
Now, here's a question from the chat real quick. Rebecca's asking, do you think the GPU performance be an upgrade, or do you think it'll be incremental? That's a good question.
It'll be, I think, a big upgrade in terms of integrated graphics, like you have with a lot of the Intel chips, and on the lower end MacBooks they ship without integrated graphics. Dedicated graphics cards, obviously not. But I do think we'll see some impressive performance graphically out of these machines for what they are. The big question for me is will Apple make their own dedicated graphics cards too? Can they slap an AMD in there? Is that, would that go too far away from their architecture? Those are all the big open questions that I have. It's why I'm so excited for this event. We know what Apple is doing in a sense, but there's so many questions onto what these products actually look like, how they actually perform. Is the software updated from them? Don't forget, apparently every iPhone and iPad app is also going to be able to be run on these Apple Silicon Macs. That is a huge amount of software that is just made available for these machines. Whether or not they work well, that's a big open question too, but it's exciting.
Well, to touch on something Renee Ritchie says in the chat here, he says if Apple becomes a merchant silicon provider, they wouldn't provide the same benefits. You might get higher performance, which I think you would, and efficiency only if you're targeting narrowly, not broadly. I agree and disagree. Disagreeing with Renee Ritchie might be one of the worst things I've ever done in my life. But I'm going to tell you why. I mean, he might be right. I mean, listen, he probably is. But I get what he's saying. For those who are didn't get to read that and just heard me spitting it out, essentially he's saying it's easier for them to get the performance kind of they're getting out of the processors because they do own everything, like the software, hardware. And that's actually what I was saying before. And I agree with that. That part, I 100% agree. You're probably going to get more out of it because of that. And if you just release it to the world as a processor that's going to do like Windows, for example, you may not see as much benefit. And that is very likely true. But interestingly, I believe, and this might be silly on my part, I believe in the technology that Apple is on because to this point, their mobile processors on a freaking phone are doing things that some desktops aren't able to do. So even if you lost some of the performance, you're still going to be ahead. Like I'm rendering out 4K videos and stuff quicker than most desktops do. Like it's insane. Now, again, you do own that whole process, the software and everything. I just have a feeling that if they wanted to, and again, they won't, they will literally not do this. But if they did, it would be a very interesting AMD, Intel, Apple fight. I would love to see that. I know we're not going to see it, but man, that would be fun.
You'll only see it from a platform where like they're not competing, Windows and Mac. That again, that's another thing I want to see. Like if the performance is this crazy good and there's efficiency gains in battery life and thermals, all this stuff that you might want. We know that the creator market, it's a market where a lot of people have been maybe switching to Windows, a lot of professionals and stuff like that. I wonder if this performance jump, I wonder if it'll create a big switch back to Mac as like, this is the platform you got to get because I can render out this 4K or 8K video in like 4 minutes. And if I'm on Windows, that's not happening. Like, it's going to be so interesting to see how that dynamic works. Maybe I'm giving Apple Silicon too much credit for what I can see. We've only seen these. This is why it's so exciting. We've only seen these chips, like Travis mentioned, in iPhones and iPads. Very constrained devices, very constrained. But the power they're able to get out of that form factor is so massive, you assume that they could scale that up much higher in machines where they have fans, better thermals, more room to work with, bigger batteries to push those processors even more. And from some of these leaked performance scores we're seeing, I think that's going to be the case. And I'm so excited.
And what do you think about maybe Apple putting a touchscreen on a MacBook of some sort?
I feel like it's inevitable at this point. I wonder if these ones will have it. There's no design change, but maybe Apple goes, hey, they got touchscreens. That's kind of like a big enough design change. Probably not, though, if there's no design change. I feel like, so like I mentioned before, they're bringing over every iPhone and iPad app over to the Mac. I feel like if you have an iPhone app on the Mac, you might want to touch the screen for that because, iPad apps, they actually have the implements in place for trackpad and keyboard support. So maybe those are actually going to work really well. iPhone apps, no, right? Like using a pointer with an iPhone app, I feel like it's just not going to be a great experience at all. If you were able to touch the screen, that kind of, you don't have to have great mouse control in that app. You can punt it to the touch screen. So I feel like it's going to happen. I feel like the UI changes in macOS Big Sur, their latest operating system, things are more spaced out. Maybe people are looking too into that. But if I'm looking at all the signs pointing to somewhere, I feel like Apple's going to give us the touchscreen Mac. And I feel like they could go, it's going to be funny to see how they introduce a touchscreen Mac if they do. But I feel like they'll go, it wasn't ready then because we didn't have all these, we didn't have Apple Silicon. We didn't have all these great touchscreen apps that you can take advantage of. We just had our desktop class apps. But guess what? Now you can run all your iPhone apps on it. So now's the time for touchscreen. I think that's how they get to that point.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Also, what Renee's bringing up is what happens when Apple has the ability to use more power behind their processors as well. Like, do we now see another level, or is there like a point where it just kind of falls off, where it's like it can only handle so much power? But I don't know. You take the leash off of the dog, so to speak, and it is interesting to see what Apple will be able to do when they own pretty much the vast majority of the important parts of their devices.
Yeah, and I just made a video on this. There was like a big rumor dump from Mark Gurman, really good track record, talking about like some of the future plans they have for their Macs. And he's even saying like, like the Mac Pro is going to get upgraded with Apple Silicon. And when you have a desktop class computer, laptops are still mobile devices. They're bigger and beefier than an iPad, but they're still a mobile device. They're still constrained by their battery. What happens when you take that chip, you plug it into the wall? You don't have to worry about battery life. You don't have to make your processors efficient for that. And you just give it all the power it needs, crank it up as high as you need to go. What does that performance look like? And again, you think about what an iPad can do, and your mind starts to jump real quick. Like, well, if they can do that in an iPad, they must be able to get like 5 times performance easily. Like,
and by the way, this should excite people who are into Intel and AMD, and even to a lesser degree, maybe Snapdragon phones, because that just lifts the bar. That raises the bar. If Apple comes out and has these laptops that perform above and beyond, say the current Ryzen mobile chip, the AMD is going to have to get to work. And again, it's not that they're worried about someone going from Windows to Mac, but maybe they should be. Like, if you're getting the better performance for more money, is it worth maybe just learning a new operating system? And if you already have an iPhone, then it makes it easier. Like, that's a real danger. Up until this point, laptops from Apple have been pretty decent, but they've been expensive when you wanted the good ones. If they decide to make this less expensive, under $1,000 for a powerful laptop from Apple, man. Woo.
Yeah, and for someone like you especially, like, if every iPad app can run on these Macs, it could make the transition very easy for you. You could just be like, well, I know how to use LumaFusion. I'll get this and I'm good to go. Maybe I'll learn other programs along the way, but I got what I need.
Yeah. So it is a very good thing for all things tech. Definitely a good thing no matter who you're a fan of. I just want to say that I believe that whatever happens this week will send ripples down the entire tech community, and I think it'll be for good, because like it or not, when Apple does something, it kind of justifies and really validates a lot of other things. It'll be interesting to see what this does in the PC world, because up until this point, they've been kind of in their own silo. In mobile, when they do something, it moves the industry. On the kind of the laptop computer side, they've kind of in their own silo. They're kind of their own thing. But now, with more of ownership behind everything, what will this mean? And they call it one more thing, and we'll have to see. Is this that one more thing that's going to really excite?
That sounds, honestly, that's like a big Apple terminology. One more thing, right? It's very fabled in the Apple world. If you're an Apple fan, you know what that means. So it sounds like they're walking into this with tremendous confidence of like trying to blow us away. And if it's the same design, like a lot of these, Gurman said that, I'm pretty sure that's going to be the case. That's usually how they blow you away. They have a new design, like, oh my God, that's crazy. But they're going to try and blow you away with the power of this thing. And maybe the efficient, like I'm saying, like I've heard rumors like maybe 15 hours, 20 hours of battery life in a laptop. That's pretty amazing. Like it's going to be very interesting to see how they play this out. But, as excited as I am, there could be big pitfalls too. There could be big warning signs for the first adopters of this. It's going to be that legacy software, Adobe, Microsoft. The Mac is an old platform. It's been running on Intel for a long time. They have emulation software. How good is it? Are apps going to be left behind? I use Final Cut Pro 10, but I also use a lot of plugins. I use third-party plugins. Do they have that ready day one for me? Is that going to work well if they converted Final Cut to work on this natively? Can I still use my third-party plugins? There's a lot of questions about this transition. We're going to have to wait till Tuesday and beyond, frankly, when we get these things in our hands to see if that's answered.
When Greg orders one of everything. Ladies and gentlemen, we had a tremendous amount of fun on this episode of GadgetCast. I would love it if you would send us more voicemails and emails. The links for those will be in the description for the YouTube channel and, of course, in the show notes for the audio podcast.
Yes. I just noticed too, we did say we were going to talk about the Pro Max 12 mini.
Oh, yeah. We should briefly touch on
They're available for sale. You ordered a Max, right?
I ordered a Max. It'll be here whenever it gets here. It's the blue 128 gig. I'm looking forward to it. I'm hoping that the battery life is no less than what I currently have.
Yes. I'm interested to see the battery life and that camera. I want to see how good that is. Yeah, I got the Max on the way as well. We'll talk about that next week. I'm sure we'll have time to use it and we'll talk about that more next week. I think we know what the gist is of the Pro Max. It's a bigger iPhone. The mini's a smaller one. It'll be more interesting when we can actually use them and talk about them.
Indeed. And of course, we love you. Thank you so much for joining us. People that are here in the YouTube live stream can hang tight for the aftercast. But for everyone else listening to the audio podcast, thank you so much. We will make sure to check you out next week. His name is Greg, and I am Travis. This is GadgetCast. We'll see you next time.
Yes, Ace, I did get the mini. I got the mini as well. I got all four. I don't know why. I'm a fool.
Ah, crap. I'm having problems with my setup. Hold on one second. Hold on. I'm having problems. Hold on.
I got for the color, I got white for the mini and blue for the Max. White for the mini, blue for the Max.
Let me change some stuff. Why is this thing being so ridiculous? I'm going to change my headphones, and then I'm going to do something else. Hold on one second. I'm also going to do something else. I'm going to show you guys something that everyone seems to be talking about, and I think it's pretty darn cool. I started playing with it the other day. Okay, can I hear you now, Greg? Let's see.
Hello.
Yes. Okay. So there's what is it? Most of the stuff that I have here is either Elgato or what is it? Well, most of my stuff is Elgato, right? Let me put on Aftercast so people know. And one of the things they came out with is an app that will allow you to use your phone as a webcam. And for Streamlabs and stuff, I have it set up in this way. I want to do it right now and try to show you guys here on GadgetCast what it looks like. I'll show you my setup, which is kind of messy right now, but
wait, you're using your phone as a webcam?
I'm about to do that right now. It's really cool. I've tested it. It's amazing. It's really cool.
Well?
It works great. Well, you're going to see here in a second. I forget what it's called. EC.
I got 4 iPhones. I'm ready to do this setup.
It's actually pretty darn cool. So, okay, so there it is. I'm going to have it attached to Bluetooth to Wi-Fi, connecting to the computer using Wi-Fi. And then it'll come up as a new camera source. And then I'll just change the camera source. There it is. Okay. And now I'm going to I'm going to stop this camera. And then I'm going to find another camera. How do I do that? Oh, I have to go here. Oh, right. I go here. And then okay, there we go. Epoch cam. Boom. So this is my phone.
Whoa.
Hey guys. And you can see my setup. I'm using my iPhone. I can literally walk around my house and everything because it's on Bluetooth. There's my ring light. There's my.
Yeah, give us the house tour. Let's do this.
No, you're definitely not gonna see my house. It's not gonna happen. My house is fine, but it's just too much. Anyway, here's my board over here. But I mean, and I can flip. Let's see. I can do the. Okay, wait, hold on. I already bought the. Why is this saying? I already bought the full version. Why is it trying to get me to? Anyway, I'm supposed. This is the full version, but for some reason it's not showing me full. Anyway, this is the front-facing camera, so I can flip that around. It's pretty darn cool. And of course, if you have like a tripod or something, you want to use your phone instead of like a full-on webcam. The quality of the picture is pretty darn good. So I was kind of impressed by this. I liked it.
And that's all working through Bluetooth?
You can either use USB or this is Wi-Fi. Why is it asking me? But yes, you can. There's a free version, and then you can upgrade if you want to do like higher resolution and all that other stuff, which is what I did because it's pretty darn cool. Yeah, really great little feature. Now, if you want to do like multicam setup for your live stream and you already have a ton of phones, that's pretty dope.
I might do that. I'm going to be doing a lot of Twitch and stuff. I might have to set up an iPhone for a second cam.
Yeah. No, I think it's the way to do it. It's
cool.
Yeah. There's two belts. This is the YouTube Championship. As you can see, my logo's on there. YouTube Champion, and with the right after this on there. Yep, and then I have a red one too. It's my desktop belts that I put on top of my monitors. That's right. Yes. How much is full version? Full version $7. The free part is free. I think the only thing they don't let you do is 1080p and like one or two other things, but nothing that you could totally. You don't need to pay for it. I did because I wanted to be able to use all the features. I don't know why this thing is all messed up here. Vamp. While I figure this out.
Vamp.
I don't know why this is such a problem. This was never a problem before.
Andrew says, when are you going to have Renee as a guest on GadgetCast? We've had him twice before. I mean, Renee's welcome on anytime.
Anytime he wants to come back.
We'll probably book him again, maybe sometime.
Well, so it would make sense to have him on the next one, but I'm afraid he's going to be too busy making 27.
Oh, he's going to be busy. So, but we'll get his thoughts on everything Apple, maybe by the end of the year, if there's some time.
If he has time next Sunday, if he's already kicked out all of his videos by next Sunday, he's welcome to join us next week. That'd be cool.
I'm sure he's going to be like busy.
I'm sure he is. The name of the app is called Epoch Cam. EPOCCAM. And just look at it and it's by like Elgato.
I gotta ask Luke too if he's free sometime soon, because I really want to hear Luke's thoughts.
Yeah, Luke does. I mean, we love Luke, but his channel is all like Mac stuff. So I wonder how he says he doesn't keep that many Macs. I wonder how many he has at the moment. And what is he going to order one of everything like you would?
Oh yeah, Luke's dedicated. He will.
He's a dedicated person.
He's more dedicated than me. He'll do it.
I'm on it at any time. Well, Renee, we are more than happy to have you.
I mean, if you want to come on next Sunday, Renee, we'll have you on.
Have the time.
1,000 bajillion %.
1,000 bajillion.
But if they release like 3 laptops, like I don't know, I feel like that's a lot of work.
A lot of work, man. That's a lot of work. I mean, what are the chances of that? Is it high, medium?
Did you order a HomePod Mini, Travis?
No, hell no. Are you kidding me?
I ordered 2. So
why?
There you go.
You have stereo.
I want to try that stereo pair, and I was thinking, I want to see if I can make them into desktop speakers. I feel like that would be cool if they sound good. I'm a little worried they might not sound good. You know what I got to try out? I saw Renee was testing this out on Twitter. I got to set it up. You can take HomePods and connect them to the Apple TV for like Atmos stuff, and I'm like, how is that going to work out? I don't know. I want to see how that sounds.
I might do a review of the viewers again for the new phones and Macs. So I'm going to review in my own way the iPhone 12 Pro. I might do another one. Some people seem to like those. It's getting some really good comments. And then the Mac. I don't know if I'm going to do the Macs. The thing is like there's been a lot of views for this Apple Silicon, but I don't know that my viewership would even care. I don't know. Maybe they would, but this is the one reason I haven't touched it yet. I may talk overall about it because I think it's a big deal. I think Apple Silicon is a big deal. So I might make a video kind of reacting to whatever they announce on, what is it, Tuesday? And then a review of the reviewers, yeah, for sure, for the iPhone 12 Pro Max and Mini reviews, probably. I mean, because I actually have fun doing those. Those are really fun, and the edit's pretty simple. So it's
I think you should do one. I think you should make that a thing. Events don't happen all the time. It's cool to do it.
And that's the thing is that I think I can get away with it every so often for bigger products.
I love your unbox therapy one. That made me laugh so much. That was the greatest thing.
If any of you missed it, obviously go to my channel. There's the iPhone 12 and 12 Pro review reaction. And then did one yesterday for John Prosser, his latest video.
I want to pick on Lou, but I liked his table of like all the iPhones again, and I'm just like, I don't know, man. I feel like you should put that image out, but he did. So,
I mean, yeah, it is what is happening with my channel. I don't know what happened. Well, I didn't have any glitches the other couple of weeks. I had a glitch yesterday. I don't know what that was about. I have no idea, but I didn't have any problems the weeks before. But yeah, I don't know what happened yesterday. It wasn't, I have no idea what was going on. No idea. Nah, it's waste time.
Yeah.
You guys not.
I agree, honestly.
Yeah. 10 minutes. Wait a second. GadgetCast should have a mini cast. That'd be cool. A mini cast. Oh, thank you, Raphael. I appreciate that. Appreciate it. Are you allowed to record the entire Apple event reaction? So I wouldn't the thing about Apple is we found out very quickly earlier this year they will strike your channel down. I mean, we came close, man. Remember we were live watching, what was it?
That was funny. Yeah, we're watching, I think the September one with like the iPads and stuff. And then we saw like Luke's channel just got taken down. And it was just like, we're out. Bye.
Yeah.
Click.
Wait a minute, I missed this. Lou unboxed 100 iPhones?
That's what I was referring to. You didn't see it long? You didn't
No, I didn't know anything about that.
Wait, hold on. I gotta send you the picture.
I didn't know anything about this.
Hold on. I got you. You
Because
gotta see this. You gotta react to. You need to react to this live. Hold on. Let me pull it up for you.
okay. Oh yeah, you can share your screen.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on? I have no idea what this is.
Did I pull up my tweet on it? And hold on. Let me see if I get the image. All right.
I still would like to meet him, just because he seems a little different. And like I said, he's Canadian, so he has to like me by law.
I would love for Lou to be on the show. He's very controversial, but I'd still like to talk to him. I don't care.
I think he seems rational when he's talking, but then he does weird things. So I'd love to bridge that gap.
I really think it's a bit. Like I feel like
I think it probably is.
I think it's just a bit. I think he knows people want to see it. People tune into that kind of stuff. He's not dumb. Like he knows.
Everyone tweet at him. Tell him you want him on GadgetCast. He's welcome.
He said some not nice things to us, but you know, it is what it is.
Okay. That's an interesting thumbnail right there.
But
I mean, but what's the point?
he unboxed 100 iPhones. He's gonna give them all away.
Oh, is he giving them away?
But you know the other infamous picture, right?
Yeah. I don't. But why would he do that?
There's a history here of controversy. I just feel like, I feel like maybe downplay it a little bit. Like, are you giving away all 100 phones?
Come on and talk to us. I would love to talk to him about it. Be like, all right, Lou, that's cool, I guess, if you didn't have any kind of controversial.
There was this, this infamous thing, this photo.
So what he said, he's going to give away the 100 iPhones? Is that what he said?
Yeah.
How? In what way?
I don't know. I didn't watch the video. I saw the picture, and then I tweeted, not as impressive as last time, to be honest.
You know what's interesting if you think about it? He he went back to the Bend, right? He did his recent Bend thing, which is one of the things I reacted on. And now he's kind of going back to history, which I don't hate it on at all. I would love to talk to him about it. Has he commented on this at all, everybody? Has anyone brought this to his attention? He used to be so much more interactive with people on Twitter when we were, I don't know that we had anything to do with it, but when John's video and my video went out, he was definitely engaging people on Twitter a lot more than he does now, which, was fine. I don't know. I would love to know the thought process behind. He's got to think like, this is going to be, I'm going to hear it in the comments. But I guess it doesn't matter. That we know, at least we think we know, that he doesn't have a working relationship with Apple, at least according to the things that he's made videos on, right? Like we're pretty sure about that. But to pull this out, I don't understand. People are saying in chat it's an hour.
Yeah.
Why? It's going to be the same thing over and over and over again, right? I should probably just watch it.
Listen, I'm going to give Unbox Therapy the biggest compliment ever. I think his channel is art. I think unboxing 100 iPhones for an hour, it's an art statement.
It's like ASMR or something, right? Is that like that would make more sense if it was just an ASMR video? I would be like,
I just think it's a statement on our world of excess.
Does he say anything while he's unboxing them? Or he's just unboxing them. Like if he's just unboxing them and not saying anything, I almost like that. I almost like, oh, all right, I got you. But if he's not, I don't understand it. It's interesting though. He can give me one if he wants. I don't have one. That's what he's after. If he's trying to get my attention, he's got it. Send me the blue one though. I don't know. We don't know what Lou does. Lou does what Lou does, and we appreciate him because of that. People doing math on how much it cost them, $1 billion, I'm sure.
I think it'd be about like $80,000.
Well,
Which
he's
for
Canadian.
Lou, I feel like that's probably doable.
He says nothing during the video, so now I'm almost on board for this.
He's
video.
done that before, but not with 100 iPhones. Every iPhone unboxing, he doesn't talk anymore.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like every single one, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's done it before. I know he's done it at least a couple other times where he's like, he just opens it and like, I don't know about this one, but I remember the last one. He just opened it and then just walked away.
Well, so then in some way it is kind of an artish type thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's different. And for ASMR crowd, they probably eat it up and they don't have to know who he is. They'll be like, ooh, this is tingling my brain.
Listen, the guy has all these subscribers for a reason. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, this is what you should do next week on your live stream, on your video. Do a live stream.
Yeah. Well, stay tuned. Might happen. I need to get them to send me more Werthers I ran out.
Yeah, it's interesting. Anyway, listen, that's Lou, and he does what he does, so we appreciate him. At any rate, if y'all if you've had enough of us now, we might go. I got to send him my audio, so that
is this enough for you guys? Is that good?
I feel
Have we contractually filled our obligation of informing and entertaining you for this Sunday? Let us know.
I think I did. Aaron's a good guy. He did not speak during the unboxing. I don't know. Did he?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember. So I don't really watch a lot of Lou's videos or anything like that. But I remember the ones that I did watch. He was talking. So this is news to me. At the end of the day, I respect the dude. He definitely has been around for a long time. I have nothing bad to say about Lou. I don't. I made fun of him a little bit in my video, but nothing harmful at all. Like I don't even know that did I even make fun of him, or was I just making fun of the situation? I think I just made fun. Yeah, I don't have any ill feelings to him or any other creator on YouTube at all. Like I like and respect them all. I don't watch them all, but I do like and respect them all.
He has a controversial past.
That he does. Maybe if we're lucky, we will as well. I feel like you can't. I feel like you really can't make it super big unless you have some type of weird controversy. Like, unless you're like an angel or something. Like, I mean, right now, I guess the only person who's like really super, and you could argue whether or not.
No, I disagree. I agree. I feel like if you want to, I'm going to be honest with you. Like, I feel like there's things I could do to make my content more controversial, but I kind of like don't want, like my soul would be like crushed if I like did that in a way. Yeah. So I can't do it. I'm not that type of person. The person that can put that aside and do it is going to grow big. People like controversy. People like a narrative like that. People want to see how your next video is going to react to something. Oh, what's the next thing? Oh, blah, blah, blah. So if you can play into that controversial element, look at someone like Keemstar, look at even like someone like Dr. Disrespect. There's always controversy surrounding these people. Sometimes it's fake and manufactured. That's the thing you got to understand. A lot of like these, even like someone's trying to sell their latest album, a musical artist, they make a beef with some other artist. It's probably all fake and manufactured stuff, but it sells because all of a sudden they're in the news.
Well, I mean, that's how this podcast got started, really.
Yeah. So that literally can make someone just shoot up with fame. But I think there's people that are really just uncontroversial and just people respect the heck out of them and they get huge. Austin Evans, no controversy. Yep. Jonathan Morrison, no, I mean, positivity controversy, if you ask me. Even MKBHD, there's really no controversy with MKBHD, and he's a huge deal.
Yeah.
So I think you could be nice and make it, which is good. However, if you want the cheat code to grow fast, you get yourself involved in a controversy.
Yeah, I don't play Among Us, but I watch hours of it. I only heard Lou because he was on during a Blue Jays game.
By the way, it's a delicate line. Controversy can backfire on you and ruin your entire career depending on what type of controversy it is. So,
you know what? Here's the thing. It can, but what really generally destroys
your response to the controversy is what does it.
Because there have been people who've had terrible controversies and absolutely survived through them. It's just you have to wait. People's memories are short. And then after that, depending on how you react to it, either you self-destruct or you just come back.
It's
and
all about the reaction. And I'm going to say it again. It's the unfortunate truth of our society. And I don't agree with it. Never, don't apologize and keep doing your thing. And people will just forget because there's too much news out there. People are just going to forget. If you just keep going and trucking along, if you miss a beat, though, that's when people notice. If you take a break and think, I'll come back in like 2 months, people forget about the controversy. Well, you lost all the attention.
Yeah.
So people aren't going to come back anyway. And then they remember because they're like, wait a minute, you've been gone for like 2 months. Oh, weren't you involved in some sort of scandal? Oh, yeah. So go full steam ahead.
Yep.
That's my bad advice for today.
You want to fast track to being a great tech channel? Be Canadian and be Canadian.
Yeah. Renee Richard.
All right, everyone. That'll be enough for us today, but thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next week. I hope this was enough that you can get through your week. If it isn't,
Jose has a great question. Am I going to do an Among Us live stream?
Cool. You should.
Yeah, I'm sick of that.
I watched so many hours of Among Us. It's not even funny.
It's
Hours.
It's repetitive and boring.
Hours. Anyway,
I would play Among Us with Travis though, or like
that would be fun.
That would be fun. But I don't want to watch it.
We need more people. We need.
Yeah, like I can't live stream Among Us like with me with like random people. That would not be fun. But if I get like Travis on there, I know Everyday Dad wanted to do it. So
really? Well, that would be
on there. We should get like a bunch of heavy hitters and do it.
Luke be on it. We could have some. Maybe Prosser would jump in or whatever. I don't know. It'd be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, everyone. We'll see you again soon. Peace and love.